Hey guys, my name is Stacy. I'm the founder of Fitter, and I'm here today to answer your questions on Instagram. So the first question is, hi JC, I'm on low calorie, high protein diet, 6 hours sitting job, 1.5 hours mid intensity gym, daily, 8 months, no results. Well, you have to first define what's low calorie. I mean, are you below your BMR? What's the kind of deficit you have created? Have you been dieting on low calories for a long period of time, in which case your body could have achieved certain amount of metabolic efficiency, in which case I actually recommend people to eat more for a duration of 4 to 6 weeks, bring their metabolic rate up and reduce any exercise that increases your cortisol level. So one of the things I'd suggest is, if you're doing any amount of cardio, maybe drop the cardio to a minimum, stick to your weight training and low intensity walks. Also reassess your caloric intake. Next question is, how to sustain the diet in the long run? Well, first of all, you need to understand that dieting should become a part of your lifestyle. It should not be like a 3-month or a 6-month affair. And if you wish to continue something for a longer duration, you have to do it right. One of the biggest problems that I see when people fall on their diets is that they consume too few calories. They consume 600, 800 hypocaloric diet, which result in malnutrition, increased cravings, increased hormonal imbalances, and that can be fixed by just consuming adequate amount of calories. Remember, you don't need a large deficit. A deficit which is 200 to 800 calories is good enough for you to get to your results, right? So do not consume a diet which is extremely low in calories. That will only lead towards more metabolic efficiency, thereby making the process of losing weight much more difficult. So the next question is it okay to take whey protein as a primary source of protein in a vegetarian diet for lean muscle? Hypothetically, yes, you could do that, but I would suggest that just the fact that you are thinking of consuming whey protein as a primary source of protein in your diet, that basically tells me that your overall diet is not good enough. Because if you had planned your diet, your primary source of protein would never be whey protein, but real whole foods. Now, while whey protein is incredibly amazing, you have to understand that there's a lot of benefit that you miss out on by taking protein only from whey protein. For example, fiber, for example, essential micronutrients that you get from whole foods, which are also pretty good sources of protein. These next two questions I'm going to answer together. One of the questions is how to lose only belly fat if your body is already thin. And another question is, I have lost 25 kgs, but my belly is not going. Why is it so? So let me try and answer this question by giving you an example of a swimming pool with varied depths. So imagine a swimming pool which has a shallow end and a deeper end. And imagine you start taking out water from the swimming pool. Now, after a while, you'd see that even though the water is coming out equally from both the shallow end and the deep end, you'll still have more water towards the deep end because it already had more water to begin with. And that's exactly the case with human bodies. When you go on a deficit, when you are trying to get on a diet and you're losing fat, remember, you're losing fat equally from all the places, but because you already had so much more fat in your tummy area, it's always going to look slightly bigger even though you have lost fat from the remaining places. So you just have to keep doing the same until you finally lose all the fat from your tummy. The next question is, how much weight loss is healthy and sustainable per month? This question is multifaceted. We have to understand who the person is. If somebody is morbidly obese and the doctors want them to immediately lose weight because they are on the verge of metabolic syndrome, they probably have insulin resistance, they are pre-diabetic. If those are the conditions, the health of these candidates can be immediately improved by drastically losing weight. However, this discussion needs to happen between the doctor and the patient and whoever is the instructor. Now, if you're a normal individual who has done some bit of dieting and only want to lose, let's say, a few kilograms of weight, in which case roughly 0.5 to 1 kg per week is a good rate of weight loss. If you are morbidly obese, obviously this weight loss is going to be much higher. If you are a leaner individual, 0.5 kilograms to 1 kg is a good rate of weight loss. The next question is, can we enroll with a fitter coach from USA? You actually can. In fact, fitter coaches are there and they have trained people from 103 plus countries. We've trained over 300,000 plus people. So whether you are in the US, Australia, Canada, wherever in the world you are, you can always enroll with a fitter coach. There are coaches who are also in the US who are more suited to your time zone. So reach out to customer support or chat directly with the coaches and see if they are supporting you in your time zone. The next question is about collagen. Why is it hyped so much? Well, primarily because this is how supplement market works through influencer marketing. In fact, recently I had also created a video on why supplements are hyped and how it all works. So you have to understand that influencers get paid to promote supplements. The efficacy of collagen supplements in case of healthy individuals or individuals who have not undergone any kind of injury is basically inconclusive. So the reason for all the hype you see on social media is primarily because influencers are paid to promote collagen, but not because collagen is actually as effective. The next question is, do calcium supplements cause kidney stones? So this is a tricky question. We do have some evidence which suggests that calcium supplements can result in an increase in kidney stones in men and women, while we also have a different research which suggests that dietary calcium can actually reduce the incidence of kidney stones. So if I have to give my verdict on whether calcium is good for you, I'd say you should prefer taking calcium from dietary sources rather than in supplemental form. Now, if you have calcium deficiency, in which case your GP can prescribe you calcium supplements, but always remember you have to talk to your doctor before you start taking any supplements if you do not have any deficiency. Next question is, should we continue on our calorie intake and our protein intake even where we have an injury or we are sick? The answer is yes, absolutely you should, because during times of injury, during times of sickness, your protein turnover actually is higher, which means that your body needs more protein to recover. So that's why you should, yes, ideally stick to your diet and consume, if not more, the same amount of protein as you were consuming before. The next question is, how much time does it take for women to build muscles? This is an interesting question and you'd be surprised by the answer because it's pretty interesting. You see, men and women develop muscles almost at the same rate. The difference primarily lies in the baseline. See, men typically have a higher initial baseline or a higher initial muscle mass, while women have comparatively less muscle mass. Under ideal conditions, actually men and women would gain muscle mass at the same rate. The next question is, can people above 50 do weight training? Absolutely. And not only can do, they should do, because after 30s and 40s, you typically start losing your muscle mass, which also results in lower bone mineral density, something which we refer to as sarcopenia, where people start losing muscles. So if you want to preserve your muscles, improve your bone mineral density, and avoid from any sort of degenerative issues, you should start doing weight training. Now, weight training does not necessarily mean that you are going to go in the gym and lift super heavy weights. It also means that you can start away with just body weight training, some sort of calisthenic routine, or maybe just lightweight with slightly more number of reps and sets, thereby adding to more volume. Next question is kind of funny. Somebody is asking me, I have become a food garbage bag because of my bad habits. How do I control cravings? Well, first of all, stop thinking about what you have done. If you really care about your health, then you have to let go of the negative emotions and start acting on sustainable habits. Start building good sustainable habits. One of the things that you can do is find out if it's the company that you're keeping is causing you to overeat. If that's the case, you should prefer joining a good, healthy community like Fitter, where you see a lot of people who are on the same mission and vision as yours. Then I would suggest that you educate yourself on how dieting necessarily does not mean a torturous process. It can also mean a fun process. Remember, it took you a long time to develop these bad habits. It's going to take some time for you to let go of these bad habits and build right habits. So that's all for today. And if you want me to answer your questions, make sure you follow us on Instagram so you can ask us these questions. And I'd be more than happy to answer these questions. Thank you.